Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and today I'm going to be doing my review of the Looking for Alaska miniseries. If you've been on my channel for a while now, you would know that Looking for Alaska is one of my all-time favorite books. It is so nostalgic for me. I read this about 5 years ago and it was one of those first books that got me into reading, and I realized that reading can be fun and reading can be heartbreaking and it can make me feel all of these things that I had never gotten in like a school recommended book. So this book holds a really special place in my heart, so I was so excited when Looking for Alaska finally was getting adapted into a miniseries. It was at like the planning stages for a while. John Green had sold his rights and he really didn't know what was going on for like years, but it was so exciting to see the whole cast and see all of these episodes of these iconic moments in this story that I've loved so much. It's gonna be no shock to you, but I absolutely loved this series. I think I'm gonna put the book down. I think that it was almost perfect, really. There is so much heart in this story and so much that I loved seeing on screen. There were so many times I was watching this series when I was like, oh my god, that's exactly how I pictured it when I was reading. There's just something utterly magical about that. I really loved the cast. I think the acting was pretty good. Some things were cheesier than others. It was really funny kind of seeing those lines that are very iconic in the book, but like hearing actual people talk and say them is it's a little strange. There's these big like metaphors and moments that John Green puts in his characters' quotes and his characters' conversations that feel so poetic and gorgeous when you're reading them, but it's kind of, it seems a little strange when people say them out loud. So I definitely can see how that might be a little weird for people. There were some things that the timing of was changed, which I got, but I didn't think was necessarily necessary. There is a situation that happens which kind of really catapults the entire story, and to my recollection it didn't happen during the course of the book. It was kind of more like a flashback sort of thing, more like a just a mentioned thing that happened. I feel like the characters really ran true to who they were in the book, which I really appreciated. I didn't actually picture some of the like actor placements with the characters, but I loved it in the end. But I loved their choices. I think they made a really good casting decision with all of them. Dr. Hyde was probably like the highlight of the show, like, to be honest. Like, surprisingly enough, it really gave him so much more of a voice, which I loved. I honestly, like, when I was reading, I never really cared about his character. We never really got to see much about him, but we got this entire backstory. We got to know his heart. He played a really important role in the characters' lives, which were so good. I loved that addition, because one like problem and complaint with the book is that there are so many adults in the teenagers' lives that are just kind of shitty and they're just like not acting influentially in a positive light. It was really nice to see that they had someone. Like, these are just teenagers. I loved that it was still set in 2005. I love that they didn't modernize it. Oh my god, it felt so real. I loved the costumes were great. Alaska's character especially, I don't know if I ever pictured her in those kind of 70s outfits, but I thought that really fit her character. Hutch was an interesting choice too. In my head when I read the book, I really thought, I don't know why, but I was really picturing Nat Wolff, and when it came to adaptations, I of course knew he wasn't gonna portray Miles because he was in Paper Towns. But I was always picturing him, and when this actor got cast, I was like, not really sure. Him and Alaska, those two actors were some of the best portrayals I've seen, and they're really good. Some things were a little juvenile. There are some plot in the after part is kind of flimsy, to be honest. You know, the perspective of a grieving group of people, but it's a little far-fetched. But I just, like, I don't know, I watched it and I was very sad, and I was like, couldn't they have changed the ending just for me? Like, I just need it to be happy, you know? One thing that I did notice when I was watching the series, I hated Laura. Like, hated her. She was so annoying. And I feel like she wasn't as annoying in the book, but that could have just been me. Like, maybe I just don't remember being so annoyed with her, but oh my god, she was insufferable. Like, she was so boring and like literally a cardboard box. Like, I maybe it's just my memory. I honestly was shocked by some of the things and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that happening. I think I reread it like last year, didn't I? I liked seeing more of Alaska though. I feel like we really got to know her personality, whereas she was just kind of at arm's length at the book. We didn't get like an inner monologue, but it almost felt like you did. Only watch the series if you're mature enough. I don't know why it's rated. I mean, there's like one but, and like they say the F word. I mean, they talk about like mature themes, I guess, but like like, I read this book when I was in like 7th grade. So please go read Looking for Alaska. Take the series and the book with a grain of salt because it did come out in 2005. Please read the book before you see it. I'm always gonna advocate for that. Being a fan of this book and having such a like special connection to the story, I absolutely loved it, and I think it was really good. Like, please don't drag me. Like, I know it's like kind of bad. Like, I do. I acknowledge that. But like, it's special to me. And I think the series, if you didn't really like the book, you might like this series more, or you might just hate it. Like, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, there's definitely going to be a video on YouTube that's going to be like, Looking for Alaska series is kind of dumb. Like, you know those videos? But like, I mean, it's your opinion. I think it was great. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway guys, that is all for this video. I've never really done a review before, but it's kind of like my book before movie. So if you guys want me to review like more, yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!